How did Uti Possidetis Juris shape Latin American borders? Imagine waking up one day and finding your country's borders drawn not by the people living there but by old maps from colonial times. That's what happened in Latin America after independence. Uti Possidetis Juris is a Latin phrase meaning, as you possess under law. It was a rule used to decide how new countries would set their borders. Basically, it said that the borders of the colonies would become the borders of the new nations. This was meant to keep things simple and avoid fights over land. When Latin American countries gained independence from Spain and Portugal in the early 1800s, they inherited borders based on colonial administrative divisions like viceroyalties and provinces. These borders were often not clear, and sometimes didn't match the geography or the people living there. But the rule of Uti Possidetis Juris made these colonial lines into international borders. This helped the new countries claim their land and establish sovereignty. However, because colonial borders were often vague or based on limited maps, many disputes arose. Countries argued over where the borders actually lay, especially when natural features like rivers or mountains didn't match the old lines. For example, the border between Bolivia and Paraguay in the Chaco region was unclear, leading to the Chaco War. Similarly, the border between Ecuador and Peru caused conflicts because colonial maps didn't clearly define the boundary. Countries often looked back at old treaties and maps to support their claims, which sometimes made disputes less longer. While Uti Possidetis Juris was meant to prevent chaos, it sometimes caused more tension. It created artificial borders that didn't always respect indigenous territories or cultural groups. Many indigenous peoples found themselves divided by borders they didn't recognize. Today, most Latin American countries still use these borders, making the principle a key part of their political geography. Understanding how Uti Possidetis Juris worked helps us see why many border disputes in the region started, and why they are still difficult to resolve. It shows how colonial legacies continue to influence the map and the challenges of building nations after independence.